ارب جی وسن جونیور متولد 1951 و سیاستمداری آمریکایی از حزب دموکرات است که در حال حاضر به عنوان رئیس شورای شهر لس آنجلس فعالیت دارد. او از منطقه 10 لس آنجلس به عنوان عضو شورای شهر انتخاب شد و پس از رأیگیری در نهایت به ریاست شورای شهر لس آنجلس رسید. او پیش از این همچنین به عنوان سخنگوی مجلس ایالتی کالیفرنیا مشغول به فعالیت بود. ارب وسن در سال 1951 در شهر کلیولند در ایالت اوهایو متولد شد. وی در سال 1999 مدرک کارشناسی خود را در رشته تاریخ از دانشگاه لینکلن در ایالت پنسیلوانیا دریافت کرد. وسن و همسرش فابیان دارای 4 فرزند هستند و او از سال 2005 به عنوان عضو شورای شهر لس آنجلس از منطقه 10 انتخاب شد و تاکنون در این شورا مشغول فعالیت بوده است. او به همراه اریک گارستی شهردار لس آنجلس نقش مهمی را در مدیریت شهری و نیز نامزدی شهر لس آنجلس برای المپیک 2028 ایفا کرده است. در یک صبحانه کاری در المپیک کالکشن واقع در غرب لس آنجلس با حضور اعضای اتاق بازرگانی وست بود و تعدادی از کسبه محلی، او درباره رویای آمریکایی و چگونگی موفقیت گام به گامش از یک فروشنده دوره‌گرد تا کسب ریاست شورای شهر لس آنجلس صحبت کرد و درباره وضعیت امروز جامعه آمریکا و آینده آن پس از انتخاب ترامپ به عنوان رئیس جمهور صحبت کرد.
That actually want to hear me speak. They are people that actually want to listen to what I have to say, because when I go home, nobody listens. Nobody pays attention. So if I just could have your attention for a minute, it makes me feel tall. So it's really a pleasure to be with you this morning. I mean that seriously. I heard somewhere that great leaders surround themselves with great people. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a great leader, but I do have some great people around me, and I'd like to take a moment to present them to you. I have Liz Carlin. Liz, stand up. Who works with me. Liz works the northwest section of the district that I'm blessed to represent, and I have over here Albert Lord. Albert Lord represents.
در پشت سر من رئیس شورای شهر لس آنجلس در حال سخنرانی هستش در یک جلسه دوستانه با تعدادی از اهالی کسب و کار در غرب لس آنجلس. بعد از صرف یک صبحانه خیلی خیلی ساده دیدید که توی فضای دوستانه صحبت‌ها شروع کرد.
That our country is divided. Our country is split. Our country is sick. And our country needs to be brought back together. Now, I am a Democrat, and I would love to stand before you this morning and blame this divide in our country on President-elect Trump. But he didn't divide this nation. He recognized that there was a divide, and he took advantage of it, and he manipulated it, and he became President-elect of the United States of America. And more power to him, because he was smart enough, he saw that there was an issue, took advantage of it, and now he's the president. He is the president of the United States of America. Or what I should say, he is the president of the states of America, because we are not united. And he cannot unite this nation alone. I don't know if any president could do that. That's our responsibility. That's our responsibility. That's we the people, okay? That is our responsibility. And we should consider ourselves so lucky that we are from Los Angeles. The rest of this great nation, the rest of our country is looking to Los Angeles for leadership. I tell my members on the city council all of the time that the winds in this country, they blow from the west to the east. They look to see what we're doing here in Los Angeles. Trust me, I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Nobody in this country is sitting at home saying, I'm saving up my money, I'm going to Cleveland. Oh, I'm going to turn on the news and see what are the new trends that are going on in Cleveland. But they are looking to us. They are looking to see what is Los Angeles saying. We have an awesome responsibility. I mentioned earlier about this nation being divided. Do you know that since 2014, that hate crimes are on the rise in every category? In the Jewish community, hate crimes are up 31%. This country is sick. We have a problem. We need to heal ourselves. And it's across the board. I mean, there are hate crimes that have risen in the gay and lesbian community, African American community, and I could go on and on and on. And yes, it's a fact. We have minority communities in this country that feel disenfranchised. And yes, some of them feel persecuted by the police, and we have to work on it. We are so lucky that we have one of the most progressive police departments in America, right here in Los Angeles. We're working on a thing in the city of LA called Embrace LA. Maybe I'll go into it later, I don't know. But it's about creating a dialogue. It's about creating a conversations with folk from different religions and different races and things of this nature. The Los Angeles Police Department is partnering with the city of Los Angeles to do that. It's the Los Angeles Police Department, our Human Relations Commission, and Cultural Affairs Commission. It's not like that all over the United States of America. We are blessed. That's why throughout this country, people look towards us. And for the next couple of months and the last couple of months, this is the message that I have been trying to deliver to the folk in LA so that we recognize just how critical of a time it is and what our role should be as leaders. We are leaders in this nation because people will look to us. I say with such pride that we in Los Angeles, we don't judge people based on the color of their skin. We judge people based on their deeds and on their actions. That we don't judge people in this great city by what religion you practice. Doesn't make a difference to us. That we don't care who you love or how you love. The only thing that we care about in Los Angeles is that you love. We are a city that when we go and look into a crowd, if that crowd is not diverse, then we think something's wrong. Look at this crowd. This is diversity. I don't want to get religious on you, but this is what the Lord made, the Lord thought of when he made this country. Look at us. We, the people. The reason why we live in the greatest country on this planet is because of us. Because we have the greatest people in the world live in this great country. And we have a responsibility to lead. In Los Angeles, almost 80% of the voters in this city voted to reach into their own pocket and pull out money to spend $1.2 billion to build housing for homeless people living on the street. That's LA. That's who we are. That's how we roll. I am a product of the 60s, the 1960s. Where's Army? Did he leave? And I know he can relate to this. I grew up at a very difficult and challenging time in this country. We were sick at that time, sicker than we are today. I would walk down the street and it would be no big deal to have somebody drive past me and holler some racial slur, hit me with the N-word. I could be walking home from school and I've had people throw milkshakes at me. I got in fights in school because of the color of my skin. There were apartments that I could not rent because I was black. I'll never forget, and I will not tell you the name of this company because it is a national company. I went to get a job. It was a sales job. It was me and 6 other guys. And I was the only minority there. I crushed these guys. I'm not bragging, but trust me, I am one hell of a salesman. When I first came to California, my first job, I was a door-to-door pots and pans salesman, where I would knock on the door and sell pots and pans in 1974. And Captain, these pots and pans in 1974 cost $850 for a set of pots and pans. They were called Eternal Age, the cookware that would last forever. Within 3 months, I bought a Cadillac. Okay, so I know I can sell. But I didn't get that job because they didn't think that I could sell to white. But we, the people in the 60s, black people, white people, Latinos, Jews, Muslims, Catholics, you name it, we protested together. We picketed together. We marched together. Many of us were beaten together. Some of us were killed together, but we changed this world. We created an uncomfortable dialogue where people had to look within themselves and make themselves better people. And because of those struggles in the 60s, we moved this country ahead light years. It is time. It is time for us to bring this coalition together again and show the rest of America how we do things here in Los Angeles. It is, I think, our awesome responsibility. And I ask each and every one of you to recognize that you have a role to play in protecting the greatest nation on the planet. You know, I was just speaking not too long ago before a group of doctors at Kaiser Permanente, which is in the house. Let's give Kaiser a round of applause. And I indicated to them that the wife of one of the greatest civil rights leaders of all time, Coretta Scott King, the wife and widow of Dr. Martin Luther King, she said this quote that has just motivated me for most of my adult life. And I know I can't say it exactly, I will butcher it, but basically what she meant what she said was that you cannot win your freedom in one battle. It is a constant struggle, and that every generation has a responsibility to fight that fight. Well, it is our generation, and it is now our time to fight. Women, for every buck a guy earns, women earn 76 cents. Why is it that we want to persecute somebody because of who they decided to love, because who they decided to marry? Between all of us, who gives a shit? I mean, it's their business. Why do you care that my skin is a little brown? I like it. Why should I care if you look different than me? Why do I care if your religion is different than mine? I respect the fact that you practice a religion. And these are the principles, these are the types of things that made America the greatest country in the world. And I think we have a responsibility to fight to protect those things. And don't think, if we don't recognize this divide in the country, don't think it's going to go away on its own. Donald Trump did not start this. Where did it come from? I think now it's time for us to do things like I mentioned earlier, like Embrace LA, where we can have these very same uncomfortable conversations. Why is it that people in America that are having a tough time, instead of recognizing that they're having a tough time, why are they blaming their problems on somebody else? Instead of recognizing they need to make change within themselves. In Los Angeles, we speak over 220-something languages. We have folk here from over 100 countries. We have people who are born citizens. We have people who came here from other countries, became citizens. We have people in this country that have papers. We have people in this country that don't have papers. But we're all the same. We want the same thing. And the thing that we want is to live a better life than our parents so that our children can live a better life than us. That's what Los Angeles has to show the rest of the world, that we can truly all get along. Now, I don't know about you in this room, but all my life, all I've ever wanted to be was one thing. I wanted to be a hero. I wanted to be the guy that made that last second shot, win the game, get the girl, throw that touchdown as the clock runs out, hear that. Well, just like, and I know many of you in this room had the same dreams as well, but not all of us are blessed with that ability. Not all of us have an opportunity to make that shot that wins that game. But I tell you, the game that we're engaged in right now today is the biggest game ever. It is bigger than the Super Bowl. Each and every one of us is an active participant in the game of life. Let's win this month. Let's do the best that we can. You don't want to, 20, 25 years from now, have your grandkids say, Nana, what did you do when this country was challenged? Grandfather, did you come up to the plate when this nation needed to fight discrimination, when this nation was separated, did you do everything that you could to bring this country together? I say to each and every one of you that are here today, let's take that last second shot. Let's make it, let's win the girl. And for some of you, win the guy. But that's what this country is all about. And that's what we as people should be all about. We should want our young people to think that they can fly, to believe that they could do anything. But I tell you, if we don't judge people based on their deeds and their actions, then we're not going to get to the point where we as a people can get. So what I want to do is wish each and every one of you a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. And when you go out, don't forget that you are a player in this game of life. Now, you may not have a pretty uniform, but we are all players. We all have a responsibility, and you want to make sure that you've done each and everything that you can do to try to move this country forward. And when I say to you that America is looking to Los Angeles, that's not just a catchphrase that I like to say. I believe that in my heart, and I believe that in my soul. So with that said, I want to thank you for having me this morning. And, good luck to each and every one of you in the future. This is the greatest country on the planet, and we're the ones that make it great. God bless us all. I work for a guy by the name of Nate Holden. Anybody heard of Councilman Nate Holden? He was the first guy to ever give me a chance in politics, so I love him to death. But he was a very impulsive gentleman. So one night he had a dream, and he comes to work the next day, and he said, Herb, I have a dream. What we're gonna do, we're gonna buy back AK-47 assault rifles. You should have seen the type of people that came to our office that wanted to turn in guns for, I cannot remember how much we were given, $200 or something like that. We had to work out a deal, Captain, with the police department, where people would then go to the police department, turn in their weapons. The police department gave them a voucher. They would bring the voucher to our office, and then the councilman would write them a check. Then the councilman decided that the Israeli...
رئیس شورای شهر لس آنجلس هستم. Martin Luther King, President Obama, Mandela, Lincoln.
No, my role model in politics was a guy named Ron Dellums, who was a congressman from Oakland a long time ago.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.